What's up, my freedompreneurs? I'm here with Gillian Berry, really cool girl. You might know her from YouTube or Instagram. She has a big channel talking about the raw food lifestyle and how amazing it is, interviewing lots of cool people, some of my inspirations. Welcome, Gillian. You want to say hello?
Yeah, hello. Hey guys, I'm so excited to sit down with you.
We're going to be sharing this mic because this is actually my first time in a studio interviewing someone. I usually do it online with people, so this is really cool. And I want to interview you about your story as an entrepreneur. I know you talk about the raw foods a lot. So first thing I want to ask you is, can you share how you started promoting a healthy raw vegan diet on social media and what inspired you to focus on this lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, I'm so excited to be your first sit down in-person interview. Woo! Yeah. Okay. So 11 years ago, I had my daughter, May. She's amazing. She's now plant-based, which I'm so proud of. And after I had her, I got a lot of health problems. So major digestive problems, even like blood in my stool. I was very depressed, a lot of anxiety to the point where I was having panic attacks and a lot of allergies and acne, especially on my back, really bad. And I just wasn't happy. I wasn't thriving. I would crash through the day. And so that led me down my health journey. Eventually, I realized after a doctor said, maybe you have celiac, I removed gluten and just like, whoa, the brain fog left and the anxiety. And I was like, what? If this is affecting me like this, what's going on with all these other foods? So I started studying foods, reading books, analyzing everything for like years. And then eventually one night I read something by Dr. Sebi about like raw foods, electric foods. And I went raw the next day and I never felt better in my whole life. It reversed all my health problems. And it just felt like this was just the key. This was how I was supposed to feel. It was like I really connected with who I really was. And this was better than any drugs or alcohol. And so I went raw then. That was September 1st, 2016. I've been raw since then. And in a few years ago, I guess it was like 2 or 3 years ago now, my husband and I went through a bad separation, lost everything after moving to Costa Rica, and had 2 young kids. And I was raw, I was feeling like depressed because everything's not food, right? We lost everything. My life was a mess. And I got back into real estate, which was what I'd done for years. And then I just kept thinking I was watching YouTube, at the rental house with my kids going through the divorce, watching Shane, Raw Vegan Rising, watching like other people. And I just started thinking I should make videos and would jot down ideas. But I was like, I'm not technical. And then one day at a real estate listing, I met this amazing angel named Kevin, sent from the heavens. And he was technical. He said he'd help me out, get started. And so that's how I got started. And because I can't even film and edit, so if I can do a channel, you guys can figure out a way too. So that's how I got started.
And if I'm correct, you just did it for free for a long time, right? Even though you were renting studio space and all this, like, how did you transition from just like creating content for free and then like making it into a business as an entrepreneur? And like, what are some of the challenges along the way?
That's a great question. So yeah, I did do it for free for a long time. And it was never my intention to start it for like a business. I don't know, it's weird. I just like thought in my heart, something in my gut just said do it. And I never really thought, I just always thought, I just want to make videos. Once I started doing it, I was like, this is fun. And I just did it because it just felt like my calling and like something in my heart, my soul just said to do it. And I never really went into it like 100%. I didn't go into it thinking I'd turn this into a business. I was just thinking, how can I add value, make videos, because I enjoy this. And I really enjoyed it once I started doing it. And so, like I said, I'm not technical, so I've always paid somebody, and I've always paid for studio spaces because we live in like a tiny apartment with no windows in the kitchen. I do a lot of kitchen content and stuff. So I was always paying for studios, my videographer, editors, all kinds of different costs, even in the beginning when it was just out of my savings account, like for the first year. And I spent a lot of money. And I'm not saying you have to do that. Most people are like, just learn to edit, do this, but it's not my thing. I've tried a million times. I don't want to do it. I'll never do it. I've made the decision. So yeah, it did cost me for a while, but then it reached a point where thankfully just things came about and destiny and ways to just make money. And now it makes more money than I was making in real estate, just following my passion and creating things that are just in alignment with all of this.
Amazing. So all that money that you invested at first, you're saying it paid off.
Yeah.
And so can you speak on that? Because you said you don't have to do the people don't have to do what you did.
Yeah.
They don't have to invest that much. What do you think? Like, does it take some investing to start, or can you start for free?
Yeah, and I just want to say I still do invest a lot of money in this channel. I still do like in all of this just because that's what I want to do. So I still do reinvest most of what it makes every month, other than like what I eat and stuff. Pretty much I just want to put it back in and make the videos better, make the quality better, travel for videos now. I just went to Las Vegas to interview Kara Marcus, go to LA, and I bring Kevin when we do stuff like that. So I reinvest it, but you can absolutely do this without having to have the money to put in like I put in from my savings account and stuff. You can, because I drained my savings account to do all this, but it's paid off. I make good monthly income now. But like I said, I do still choose to reinvest it. But you could learn to edit, or you can find cheap editors on Fiverr. There's ways to do it without, and a lot of my interviews I do on Zoom, which are like, you can do that for free. Set that up, get a mic off of Amazon, you're set up, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of us, we just share our passion, like especially in the raw food world. It just like we want to do it for free anyway, so just natural. And I think based on what you're saying, if you just trust your heart, it'll pay off and it'll come back to you. So you have to like really like trust the process, I think. So speaking of making content and videos and all this, how do you think of like content ideas and what to talk about with your influencers when you talk about raw food, like their raw food success? And so yeah, can you talk about like how you generate ideas and maybe a bit of like how you make these strategies to keep your audience engaged as well? Because I know you have a big audience and like they're really engaged, right?
Yeah, they're really engaged. Especially I feel like for the size of my channel, like they've always been really engaged. And I like that. I think that's because people feel like I'm really real and honest and open. Like I'm open about struggles or this and that. And I feel like they can connect more. And I'm just trying to be myself. I'm not on here trying to like put on a show or something. So I feel like they can really connect with that.
How do you think of ideas?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Whenever I think, sometimes I'll be at the gym. Like today I was at the gym and I thought of a couple good ideas for my next trip to Los Angeles, because I'm planning a trip to Los Angeles to interview Lillian Mueller. She's in her 70s, Playboy model, and she's been raw vegan for a long time. And the badass vegan, a couple people. So I had some ideas on the treadmill, so I just put them in my phone. So I find I just get inspired ideas when I'm doing something positive, like at the gym, and I write them down then. Or like when I'm calm and chill, I get those ideas. I don't so much just sit there and try like force lists of ideas. Just when they come to me, I'll make a point to write them down before I forget, or send myself an email of like idea lists, or like send myself an email of reels I want to create next time. And I just always think like, what does the audience want to see? I ask them a lot, what do you guys want to see for videos? And even when I'm interviewing somebody, I'll post like many times, not every time, sometimes I forget, but I'll post and say, what do you want me to ask this person, and stuff like that.
That's awesome. So you think of these ideas, but you also get your audience to help you create ideas of what they want to see. So that's really cool. That's a good strategy. I noticed we still have your sign up, Gillian Berry, even though we're on my show. But I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what are the steps you took to turn this into a brand? This is like your brand, Gillian Berry. Like, how did you turn this into a brand, and how did you deal with maybe like navigating industry trends while staying authentic?
Yeah, and I think it's really important to stay authentic. If you look at my first video, I was so like shy and nervous and like trying to like think, what do they want to see? I just try always be myself. I think that's the best you can be, and that's one of the things I love about YouTube, is it just really makes you be you. Does that make sense? Like it just really, you become more and more and more yourself in every video. And then it just becomes better and better and better. And as far as branding, I don't know. As time goes on, it's just always been really important to me to stay authentic. Like even I've had companies reach out to me to do stuff, and I don't promote anything on the channel unless like I personally use it and love it. And if they're like, oh, do you want to do this? I'll be like, only if I like it first. Like the prana mat, I was like, if I like it, I tried it, I freaking loved it. The acupressure mat. Same with like certain other things. And my logo and stuff, my friend Magri Jade did it. She came on my channel for Juice Fest once, and she did it for a low price. And I don't know, I did my website last year. I don't know, I'm just always just trying to make things better and better.
I think you're blessed that your name is Berry, like Gillian Berry, and you got the berries. Like that's really cool. That's a blessing. But yeah, so how did you turn this into like, how did you monetize your platform? Just popping in to let you know, if you want to travel the world and get paid while you do it, make sure to download my free ebook below. It's in the description. Now let's get back into the video.
I'm blessed with Berry. Some people think it's not my last name, but it is. I think it's just destiny, meant to be. And okay, so yeah, like I said, for the first while I was spending money out of pocket, and then it got to a point where the YouTube ad revenue started making money, so that was good. So that just started covering some expenses. So that's where you put the ads show up in the YouTube videos, and then as creators we make money off that, which is good because I dedicate my whole life to this channel. So at some point it's like it has to make money or I can't do it anymore, right? I have expenses, I like to live a nice life. So that typically makes, it depends on the month. If it's having a good month, then typically the YouTube ad revenue is around 5,000. Or this month it's a little bit slower. I didn't post as many videos because I was traveling for the holidays and stuff like that. So I think it's around 2,500. So it usually ranges from like that range. So that started making money about a year ago, which for me, that's not enough to live off for me personally, because I pay for all my food, my kids' food, a lot of expenses for all of us and everything. But it still was like, great, this is like making a good base, right? You know what I mean? So that started. And then I started affiliating with different people, and I started getting sponsorships for the channel. Like BetterHelp sponsors me, or they sponsored me, and who else? So Sia. I've had a few sponsorships for channels, so you get paid with that. You tell them your rate and you work out a deal. And I have affiliates, so when people use my code with like my juicer, my supplements, all the things I use, I get payment for that. So it all adds up and it helps me keep this going, because I don't know, it's like Casey Neistat said once. He said in an interview that the key is for him, he just wants to do it and have it make enough money to keep doing it, right? And that's kind of like with me. I just wanted to keep making enough money to keep doing it. So I'm doing it for like the right reasons with the right intentions. Like I love doing it, you know, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I love doing it, and I'm blessed that it's funding itself, if that makes sense, you know?
So you're doing it and you're making more money, but then you're investing more money to make it better quality, rent out a better space, like all these things. So you're really like, it's investing in the business. That's amazing. And can you talk a bit more about those partnerships? You mentioned a few. Like how can people get into that? Like, is it mainly people reaching out to you, or do you reach out to some, or a little bit of both? Can you share a bit about that, and maybe mention a couple of like really impactful partnerships that you have?
So with the sponsorships and the affiliates, so if you guys don't know, the sponsorships are when somebody sponsors a video, right? They sponsor you for video. Or the affiliates are not necessarily a sponsorship, but if you like with my Nama juicer, which I use and love, if you use my code, I get a small commission from that, right? So with all of the sponsorships for the YouTube videos, they have reached out to me. I haven't really reached out to anyone being like, do you want to sponsor me for a video? I'm sure some people do that. Maybe I need to learn more a little bit about that. And for the affiliates, it's been a bit of both. So all the sponsors have reached out to me, but the affiliates, it's been a bit of both. Some of them I've reached out to, like with the Nama, I originally reached out to them. Like, I love your juicer, I'd love to affiliate with you guys. And same with the supplements. And then the supplements were like, sure, great, we love you, blah, blah, blah. And some other stuff, they reached out to me. It's been a bit of both with that stuff. I mean, if you love something, like reach out to them, say, do you have an affiliate program? Look on their website. Most companies have like an affiliate section on their website that you can reach out to them. And there's also a good site called Social Blue Book that I use a lot. So it gives the value for your social media, and it's pretty accurate. Like when I first started using it, I talked to my influencer friends. Have you heard of that? Okay, so it's a really good website. You integrate your social media into it. So I was a little bit worried about that because I was like, is this safe? I'm giving them like the analytics to my YouTube channel. And then my friends who are pretty big influencers, they were like, it's safe. I use it. It's very accurate. So you integrate your social media, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, into the Social Blue Book. I'm not affiliated with them. It's not sponsored. And it gives you a valuation for what sponsorship is worth on your page or on your channel. So then it tells me like the ballpark of what I should charge for a sponsorship or for a dedicated video or just mentioning the brand or stuff like that. And then you can go off that. Because at first I was like, I have no idea what to tell them when they reach out to me and they're like, we want to partner with you. Because a lot of people reach out to me and be like, we want to partner with you. Let us know your rate, blah, blah, blah. And if I'm interested in it, then I'll check my Social Blue Book and be like, how about this, you know? And then sometimes they'll be like, sure, no problem. And I'll think, maybe I should have told them more. I don't know. Or they'll be like, that's too high. We'll give you half. It's up to you. And I'm like, okay. You know, or I'll be like, let me think about it and see. Sometimes I say no, whatever.
One of our coaches, Gillian, she's actually big on brands. She has her own little program for that as well. But that's like even a question I was wondering, like, how do you price yourself with these brands, you know? So it's good to know. Social Blue Book. So reflecting on your journey, I want to talk a bit about your challenges. Were there any specific challenges you had to overcome and any advice for those facing similar obstacles in their path?
You mean challenges with that or challenges with online and like the business with everything, right? Yeah, so I would say, well, the challenge first started with, I guess, dealing with online stuff. Like early on, somebody made a video about me on an anti-vegan channel and dealing with like online people making like people can say like the worst things, right? So in the beginning and for the first while, probably the first year and a half or so, like some of the stuff would really hurt me. And I think, do I want to do this? Like, do I want to do this anymore? What am I doing, right? But I'm like, no, I love it. This is like my passion, my calling, my purpose. I kept doing it. So I did get like a much thicker skin. And so I got over that. But that was definitely a challenge along the way. And I don't know, like I've been lucky because the money has come. So thank God. If the money didn't come right now, then that would have been a bigger challenge. I probably would have had to stop because like I said, it cost me money to do all this. I dedicate my whole life to it. I don't want to learn to film and edit. It's very confusing for me. So as far as other challenges come, I would say it hasn't been too bad, knock on wood. It's just been dealing with the hate online and learning how to wrap your head around that. And I'm not religious. I call myself more spiritual, but I do like Joel Osteen's teachings, and I like what he has dealt with a lot of hate. And I like how he says as soon as you start reading something and realize it's bad, you just stop right away. And you don't. So I try to now just stop doing that, or I'll just hide the user, delete, just like go away. Don't feed into it in my head. But yeah, luckily there haven't been too many other challenges.
So yeah, I remember when you were dealing with that, with like, what was it, vegan deterioration,
Yeah.
or maybe I shouldn't be mentioning names because I'm a sensitive person too. I wouldn't want hate, but I've seen a little bit of hate here and there, and you could tell like it hits the heart, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Like that was the first time I felt like someone made a video about me, and I don't know what it is. I'm a very fight or flight person, and I just saw it and I got very like fight or flight, you know? But now I just try like let it go and try just have compassion for people and just try let it go and realize if people are writing mean comments online or whatever, like they're not feeling happy or they wouldn't be doing that, you know? If you're happy and fulfilled with your life, then you support whatever journey people on for your life. I feel like God wants for us what we want for us, and I feel like that's what we should want for other people, even if they're not on our path, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. And I also like what you were talking about, the guy, Joel Osteen. Yeah, if you see a bad comment, just like block the person, like delete it. Screw it, like don't waste your energy on it. I really feel that vibe. Like if I see something bad, I'll ignore it, or like I won't put it in my vibration at all, you know. I do my best to do that at least. So can you tell me a bit, I know you're really busy, I'm seeing you here live in action in real life, and you've been here for a few hours and you got another interview after this. You're a very busy woman, very busy entrepreneur. How do you balance your personal life? Because the personal life is like, your professional life talks about the healthy lifestyle of a raw vegan lifestyle. So how do you balance living a healthy life and your personal life with being so busy? Is there any like self-care practices that are important, or can you speak about that?
Yeah, I think self-care is really important. I think it's not just all diet. I'm back at the gym now. 3 days so far, but I know it's not a lot. I was working out a lot before Christmas, but this week I got back to it. 3 days, 60 minutes a day. I feel like a new person. I feel so happy. So I think it's really important we do as much self-care as possible. I think sleep is so important too. So I know I recently interviewed Kara Brotman, and she was talking about studies saying it's important we sleep between the hours of 10 and 2. So I try as bet like there's something that happens for healing with those hours, for the rhythm of the universe. It's really important to try and make sure you sleep by 10. So I do try and get those hours in and try and prioritize sleep, eating clean. And I don't know, my professional life and my personal life are kind of just merged as one. I think because I just love what I do, that like I feel like hanging out with you, doing it when I'm doing interviews, it feels like it's like personal life too, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like it's work because I love it so much.
Yeah, while you were interviewing Eli, I was like having bananas and apples here, and I felt like I was hanging out with you guys, like raw vegan people. It's like a social event, but it's also our professional business, so it's really cool.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's important. And it's just, I don't know, the relationships I have are all important to me. And like I said, it's all just kind of merged into one. And yeah.
Awesome. So how has your approach to content creation and entrepreneurship evolved over time? Is there anything specific that has evolved? And if you want, you could talk maybe about your future plans from there.
Yeah, it has definitely evolved over time, especially if you see like my first video. I was like very stiff and we had no lighting, we had no audio. So I always try to make the quality better and better. I had my channel audited by somebody, I think his name was Nate Black at Channel Makers. He's great. So he does like channel audits and tells you what you should do more of, what you should do less of. So I'm still like integrating some of his tips. And like he even said like high quality channels have very consistent audio. So I'm still working on like that and the lighting and just always trying to make improvements. And it's evolved a lot in that I like to travel now and always create the best content. I still love to do a lot of videos on Zoom. Like that's still a nice way to do things, even sharing like people's plant-based transformations and juice fasting and things. It's still amazing doing it on Zoom. Some of my top videos are on Zoom, but I'm expanding more now by traveling to LA, New York, Miami, all these places a lot, and doing in-studio interviews with people, even though they cost me money. I think it's just a great experience, gives the viewer just something different. Because I know for me, I don't like to go onto a YouTube channel and just see the same thing every video. So I just always think, what would I like to see too? And I like to like look and see different things, like, you know, the same type of theme, same type of branding, but like different videos. So I'm always trying to switch things up and think of new ideas. And I focus on my Instagram too. I just focused on Instagram and YouTube. I think there's just people tell me I got to get on TikTok, and maybe I do, but I'm just like, 2 things are enough. I've got kids. I live a busy life. We got TikTok, X, Facebook, I don't know, Threads. There's all these things, right? So YouTube and Instagram is just what I focus on. LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn. No, I left LinkedIn when I think my LinkedIn is probably still up for my real estate headshot, probably.
Well, my advice for you for that would be, if you're investing money into this, you could just pay a distributor to like put it on all your channels.
True.
And you don't have to like do that yourself. You know?
True.
And if you like talking to people, you can engage in the comments or whatever. Or if you want to hire someone for that too, you could. But like if you like talking to your community, that's fine. But you don't have to do the work of going in there and posting and everything. Like the distributor could just do that. But what advice would you give to people who want to do a similar thing, teach maybe raw vegan or health or whatever, and become entrepreneurs in the online space? Do you have any advice?
Well, I would say sit down and think what something you could make a million videos about that you could never get tired of, and think of that for like your niche type of thing. And I would say think of how you can add value to the viewer. Like think something you like making that gets you excited and that feels like it's connected to you and your higher self, but it also has to be something viewers want to see. Because if it's not something viewers want to see, I mean, to me, there's no point making it if you're not going to have people watching, right? So you want to make sure you're creating things that people want to see and you're staying consistent. I think that's really key. I've always stayed so consistent on YouTube, doing it for 2 or 3 years. Every week, I always post a video. I think there's only been a couple times. I think one time I took 30 days off for a 30-day social media cleanse after the vegan deterioration stuff. I was a little bit weak back then, but stay very consistent and stick to it. Even if you're not getting like the views you want, just keep sticking to it and always think how you can keep improving and focus on what you love. And if it feels right, don't be afraid to invest in it. Or if you want to learn to edit, learn. I mean, for people, I think it's better if you can edit because you have more control over how it can look and stuff. I think that is better and more ultimate if you can. But yeah, just stay consistent. Make sure the market is there for it too, though, right? Like you got to have something that, you know, people want to watch.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing we help a lot with our clients. Like offer something that people want to buy, that people are already buying. Like they know that they can come to you to buy that thing. Because even like raw vegan diet, that's still just like a process, but like what's the result of that? It's like helping people lose weight, helping people get muscle, it's like, so if you can help people get a specific end result, you'll be more successful. You'll find clients that will pay you because they know you can help them with that specific issue that they want. End result. And I guess you're not technically a coach, you're an influencer, but you interview a lot of people that help people themselves. Like they may be coaches, or even just by inspiring people, they've changed their lives. And you've mentioned that people have approached you at events and said that you've changed their lives. So you're not even like coaching per se, but you're changing people's life. Like how do you measure like the impact you've had on your audience? Do you have a way to like see that, to know that you're actually changing their lives? And if you want to make money as a content creator, make sure to check the free guide below that shows you how to do it, and get started today. Let's get back into the video. Peace.
Yeah, I get comments and DMs all the time. Like people will be like, oh, I did this juice fast because your channel and I reversed this, or I'm so happy, like thank you. I literally get DMs where people are like, you've saved my life. I know, it's amazing. So that's really rewarding. Like that's really just the most amazing thing when you know it's such a positive thing and people are changing their life. And yeah, I hosted an event with Lou last year in LA, and then someone came up to me and she was like, you know, I was really sick. I sold everything I had so I could make juices and smoothies out of my car, and I saved my life. And she was crying, and just hosting that event with Lou in person, seeing like we hosted a 500 person event last summer in LA. We're gonna host another one probably this April. But that was really rewarding, and that's where I really saw just the impact the channel's having, because sometimes unless you meet people in real life, and really meeting the people in real life there really did it for me. Seeing all the people in real life, that's when it really hit me, and I was like, wow, this is really impacting people. There is like a real reason and purpose behind this, you know what I mean? And all the comments I see online, like it's a very positive community.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like your journey is just like you just shared your passion, your heart, and you were just like doing what you wanted, sharing it on video, on YouTube, and then on Instagram. And then it's just like people started reaching out to you. Next thing you know, you're going to live events. It sounds like it all evolved organically, and then you're just like helping transform lives, like without even really realizing it. It feels like.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What role does community engagement play in your content strategy and business model?
So I think community engagement is really important, and I don't know, I never really thought of it as a thing until I guess the last few months I realized, because I would have brands or people, a lot of people say to me, you have so much engagement. Like a lot of my engagement, even because I don't consider my channel that big, or like my Instagram that big, but even for like a 64,000 subscriber channel, it has a lot of engagement, even if you compare to like channels 500,000, or like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of engagement, and I never really, I think it's just because I am, like I said, I try to be really real, and I try to connect, and I've always, like if people DM me, I always do my best to write back to everybody's DMs, and like I want to connect with people. I love connecting with people, even if I've been in different cities traveling. Sometimes I'll post on my Instagram, do you guys want to meet up? And I just love connecting with the community, right? I'm not just in it alone, just me behind a camera. I think it's important to have that connection. It's always been like an important thing to me without realizing that that's what it was, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think engagement with less people, less viewers, less followers, is more important than having a big following with no engagement. That's kind of pointless. When you have that engagement, then yeah, you have a sense of community. People feel heard by you. They're like, wow, Gillian wrote back to me. And same thing like if I wrote to an influencer. So like it makes people more, like when that happens, they want to engage with you more, and they want to take in more of your content and grow like with you as a community, with your channel and everything. I think that's amazing. And so for people who want to connect with you, and if they're inspired by your journey, where can they connect with you and stay updated with your content and your entrepreneurial ventures?
Yeah. So thanks for watching. This has been so nice sitting down with you. And you guys can connect with me on Instagram. I'm _Gillian Berry. I would love to get the account that has no underscore. There's somebody that has that, and they have like no posts, and they don't post. And I'm just like, how do I get this account, guys? Somebody help me try buy this account. I've DM'd her offering her a bit of money, but she hasn't even read it. I don't know. But I'm on Instagram. I love Instagram. So like I said, I just focus on Instagram and YouTube. So I'm on Instagram _Gillian Berry, or YouTube Gillian Berry, Gillian with a G. And yeah, I have a website, gillianberry.co. That's .co, and that's where you guys can find me.
Cool. I'll put those links below. And I wanted to mention, actually, I'm glad you shouted that out, that you want to buy Gillian, or take over if possible Gillian Berry's Instagram, because I follow this guy. It's like a prank video guy, but he's really big. He's got 10 million subscribers, and he like pranked some woman once, but she like lost her baby and was going through hard times, and he like reached out on his channel about like he wants to help her. He can't find her. Some random person eventually like found her, so like, and then he helped her in real life. So like eventually you could find this Gillian Berry. I think if you put the energy out there, someone will be like, Gillian, I got her.
Somebody help me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Like, it was really cool talking to you. I'm really happy to be in your studio. This is a blessing. Thank you so much. I think you helped a lot of people right now, and see you next time.
Bye guys, thanks for watching.
Bye.